Good morning, my dear students. Now we are going to discuss some examples regarding the applications of Newton's laws. Okay. Then, if we take up to 3.2, we have discussed yesterday. Then, what about 3.3? 3.3, there are three forces. Okay. Then, we want to find out the larger force. Force is a vector, okay, which is represented by a line segment with an arrow head. Okay, therefore here there are three forces, okay, that are acting along the same direction. Then here the magnitude for the force F1 is greater because the length of the line segment gives the magnitude of the force, and the direction of the force is given by the arrowhead. Okay, therefore here F1 has the longer line segment than that of F2 as well as F3. Okay, therefore F1 is the greater force. F1 has the greatest force among the three. Okay, then the next one, 3.4. We want to draw a free body diagram. Okay, that means we want to applying Newton's second law. We want to apply the Newton's second law for a mango which is hanging from a tree. Okay, here first of all, in order to find out the solution, here first of all we want to find out the forces that are acting on the mango. Okay, then before that we want to identify, we have to use an inertial frame of reference. Okay, then the step 1, first of all we want to choose a inertial coordinate system, okay, to analyze the problem. Then here we are able to take the earth as an inertial coordinate system. Similarly, the second one, we want to identify the system to which Newton laws to be applied. Okay, then that is the system can be a single object or more than one object. Okay, then the third one, we want to draw the free body diagram. Third one, we want to find out the draw the free body diagram. Okay, then next, once the forces acting on the system are identified, okay, then and the free body diagram is drawn, apply Newton's second law. Okay, then in the left hand side of the equation, write the forces acting on the system in vector notation and equate it to the right side of the equation. In the right side of the equation, there are mass and acceleration. Therefore, mass is also a vector quantity. Then that should also be in the vector notation. Okay. Then and also the last one, if the acceleration is given, force can be identified, and the force is given means acceleration can be identified. Okay. Then following the above steps, we fix the inertial coordinate system on the ground as shown. Okay, then right now here the forces acting on the mango. What are the forces acting? The forces acting on the mango is nothing but first one is gravitational force, which is first one is gravitational force. Gravitational force, which is vertically downwards, which is acting vertically downwards. Okay, that means here the coordinate system is, it is along the ground, okay, x-axis, and it is the upward direction y coordinate system. Okay, then right now along this a unit vector I cap is there, and along the y direction there is a unit vector j cap is there. Okay, then right now second one, what is the second force which is acting? The second force is tension on the cord. Tension, okay, in the cord attached to the mango acts Okay, this tension is acting upward direction. Then right now, if we draw the free body diagram, then what about what we want to do? We have to consider the mango as a point. Okay, then here the mango is considered as a point. Then the forces are drawn. The first one is mg, the gravitational force which is vertically downwards, and the tension which is acting vertically upwards. Okay, it is the free body diagram. This is the free body diagram. Here the mango. Here the mg, the gravitational force upper direction, the tension is acting. Then similarly, then if we apply the Newton's second law to this system, then we are able to write F is equal to Fg, gravitational force. Fg is equal to mg into minus j cap. Okay, minus j cap represents that the gravitational force is opposite to that of the y-axis, that is along the negative direction. Okay, then right now similarly the tension can be represented as T vector, which is equal to T j cap. Okay, tension is acting vertically upward direction. Okay, then right now the net force F net. F net force is equal to F total is equal to Fg, gravitational force, plus tension force, Ft. Okay, then right now if you apply, what is the gravitational force? Minus mg into j cap plus T into j cap, which is equal to T minus mg j cap, which is the F net force. Therefore, the net force is equal to T minus mg into j cap. Okay, from the Newton's second law. What is Newton's second law? F is equal to mg, mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. Therefore, F net is equal to, from Newton's second law, F net force should be equal to that of mass into acceleration vector. Mass into acceleration vector. Okay, now as the mango is at rest in position, here the acceleration A vector is equal to 0. Okay, then right now we are able to say that F net force is equal to m into A vector, which is equal to 0. Which is equal to 0. Otherwise, T minus mg of j cap is equal to that of 0. Otherwise, comparing the corresponding components, we are able to write T minus mg is equal to 0 or T is equal to mg. T is equal to mg. Okay. Then right now the mass of the mango is given as 400 gram. Then the tension is equal to tension acting on the cord is equal to T is equal to mg. Here the mass is equal to 400 gram. Then the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8. Then in order to convert this into kilogram, we want to multiply 10 to the power of minus 3. Then on multiplying, you will get 0.4 into 9.8, which is equal to 3.92 Newton. Okay, it is the tension force that acts on the cord. Okay, right now, next the example number 3.5. A person rides a bike with a constant velocity v vector, v with respect to the ground, and another biker accelerates with the acceleration a vector with respect to ground. Who can apply the Newton's second law with respect to the stationary observer on the ground. Okay, then for the second biker is accelerating, is under acceleration, therefore for him we are unable to apply the Newton's second law. Okay, then but for the first biker, because the accelerated frame is not an inertial frame. Okay, that's why for the inertial accelerated frame is not a inertial frame, that is non-inertial frame. Then in the non-inertial frame, the Newton laws are not valid. Newton's laws are not valid. Okay, therefore the second one, for the second case, we are unable to apply the Newton's second law. But for the first one, who is at resting position, okay, that means who is at constant velocity, then as the velocity is constant, the acceleration is equal to 0. Acceleration is equal to 0. Then for the first person, we are able to apply the Newton's second law. Okay, then the next one, Newton 3.6. The position vector of a particle is given as 3.6. R vector is equal to 3t I cap plus 5 t square j cap plus 7k. Okay, this is the position vector of a particle. Now we want to find out the direction of the particle. Okay, direction in which the particle experiences a net force. In which the particle experiences a net force. Then the velocity, we know that velocity, that means the solution is simple. That means the velocity vector is nothing but rate of change of velocity displacement vector. Rate of change of displacement vector is equal to velocity vector. Okay, then which is equal to d by dt of r, that is 3t into I cap plus 5 t square into j cap plus 7k. Then differentiating this, we will get 3 I cap plus 10 t into j cap. Then it is a constant, therefore getting 0. That is dr by dt, or velocity vector, is equal to 3 I cap plus 10 t j cap. Okay, then the acceleration experienced by the particle is nothing but, the acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity. Then differentiating this, once again, a vector is equal to dv vector divided by dt. This is equal to, if we differentiate once again, this will also become 0. Then here 10 into j cap. 10 into j cap. Okay, therefore here the particle experiences a net force. That means along the z direction, along the y direction, along the y direction. But it do not experience any net force along the x as well as y, x as well as z direction, because there are no components. There is no x component as well as z component. Only there is a y component. Therefore, the particle will experience a net force along the y direction alone. Okay. Then next one, 3.7. 3.6 is very, very important sum. Okay. Next 3.7. Then what is there? Here there is a simple pendulum. Here there is a simple pendulum. Okay. Then right now, which is oscillating like this means, then we want to find out. We have to find out what are the forces acting. We want to identify the forces acting on the bob. What are the forces acting? And also the acceleration experienced by the bob. Okay, we want to find out these things. Then right now, the forces acting on the bob are nothing but, first one, the gravitational force, mg. If m is the mass of the bob and g is the acceleration due to gravity, then the gravitational force is acting vertically downwards. Okay, not only from the main position, for the main position, but also for all the positions. All the positions. Here the mg is acting vertically downwards. Then here also that is mg is acting vertically downwards. Okay. Then next one, the tension which is acting towards the suspended point along the string. Then these are the two forces: gravitational force acting downwards, the tension exerted by the string on the bob. Okay. Then right now, whose position determines the direction of the T? Okay, that means the direction of. Then the bob is moving in a circular. Okay, bob is moving along a circular path. Therefore, there is a centripetal acceleration is necessary. Centripetal acceleration is necessary. Similarly, if we take the velocity, whenever an object moves in a circular path, then for that require a centripetal acceleration. Okay, the centripetal acceleration is acting towards the center always. Okay, then here the bob is also moving in a circular arc. Okay, that's why the bob also experiences a centripetal acceleration. Similarly, if we take the velocity of the bob is not remaining constant for all the positions. At the extreme positions, left extreme as well as right extreme, then the bob become momentary rest. Okay. As there is no velocity at the extreme positions, the acceleration found to be 0 at the extreme positions. But whenever the bob crosses the main position, then that has a maximum velocity. Either that means therefore here being there is the velocity also changing for different positions of the bob. Then here there must be a tangential acceleration. The velocity is along the tangential direction like this. Okay. Then therefore there must also be a tangential acceleration. Okay. Then next one, if we take the mass of the gravitational force can be resolved into two components. One is along the string and another one is perpendicular to the string. Okay, then along the string is given by mg cos theta, and the perpendicular direction the force is given as mg sin theta. Okay, similarly here mg cos theta and mg sin theta here. Okay, then right now the gravitational force can be resolved into two components like that, mg cos theta and mg sin theta. Then next one, 3.8. What is 3.8? The velocity of the particle moving in a plane is given by the following diagram. We want to find out the direction of the force acting on the particle. Direction of the force acting on the particle. Here, if we take a coordinate system, okay, inertial frame, then the force is acting. Okay, at t is equal to 0, the force is found to be smaller in magnitude, and t is equal to, once again, the force is found to be greater in magnitude, and also but along the horizontal direction the force found to be remain constant. Okay, that is then here there is no acceleration along the horizontal direction, but there is a vertical direction, there is a force. Okay, that is the force is along the y component. Okay, then next 3.9. apply the Newton's second law for an object at rest on the earth. Analyze the result. We want to there is an object which is at rest. There is an object which is at rest on the surface of the earth. Then here, what are the forces which are acting on the object? Then which has a mass m. Okay. Then its mass is vertically acting downwards. That is the gravitational force, mg. Gravity, okay, is acting. Similarly, the earth going to apply a normal force on the object, okay, which is upwards. Then here mg and n found to be equal to one another but opposite in direction. Here the x is the horizontal x-axis and y the vertical y-axis. Okay. Then along the x direction there is no force at all. But along the z direction, along the x direction there is no force at all. But along the y direction and the negative y direction, here there is a force. Then for this, if we draw a free body diagram, the object is taken as a point. Then mg is acting vertically downwards. Okay, it is the object. Then the normal force is acting vertically upwards. It is the normal force acting. Okay, then right now here if we apply Newton's what is the gravitational force? Fg is equal to minus m into g into j cap. Okay, then normal force n vector is equal to n into j cap. This is along negative y direction. Okay, that's why there is a negative sign. It is positive y direction. Okay, then here therefore the net force F net force is equal to gravitational force plus the normal force, that is minus mg into j cap plus n into j cap, which is equal to n minus mg into j cap. Okay, here the object is at resting position on the ground, therefore the acceleration of the object is 0. Acceleration acting on the object is 0. Okay, then right now therefore a vector is equal to 0, therefore which means that mg, okay, n minus mg into j cap is equal to 0. Then applying comparing the respective components on both sides, we are able to write n is equal to mg. Normal force is equal to that of magnitude of the gravitational force but opposite in direction. Okay, then and also next 3.10, that is also, which is also very very important, 3.10. okay, mostly we are expecting in the annual examination. Then 3.10, what is that? There is a particle of mass 2 kg experiences two forces. F1 force, the first force is given by 5 I cap plus 8 j cap plus 7 k cap. Then the second force experienced by the same object is given by F2 vector is equal to 3 I cap minus 4 j cap plus 3 k cap. Okay, then now we want to find out what is the acceleration experienced by the particle. Okay, then here being there are two forces acting on the same object, then we want to find out the net force. Then what is the net force? Net force is equal to F net is equal to F1 vector plus F2 vector. Okay, which is equal to we are going to write 5 I cap plus 8 j cap plus 7 k cap plus 3 I cap minus 4 j cap plus 3 k cap. Okay, then right now what is the net force? We want to add the corresponding components. 5 plus 3, 8 I cap, 8 minus 4, 4 j cap plus 7 plus 3, 10 k cap. It is the net force. Okay, then but acceleration, we know that according to Newton's second law, F vector is equal to mass into acceleration vector. Therefore, acceleration vector is equal to force vector divided by mass. Then if we divide by mass, we will get every component is divided by 2. Therefore, 8 divided by 2, 4 I cap plus 4 divided by 2, 2 j cap plus 10 divided by 2 into k cap, that is 5 k cap. Okay, it is the acceleration experienced by the particle. Okay, then we will discuss the remaining things in the next class. Thank you, all of you.